Joining us now is a great friend of the program. We've been wanting to have him on for quite some time, and his website is popping off lately. It is Mr. Kane from citizenfreepress.com. Mr. Kane, great to see you.
Yeah, great to be here, Charlie. What a morning. What a morning. What a victory, Charlie. What a victory.
Praise the Lord. I mean, I want to just take a step back here, Kane. I mean, you are kind of the news Svengali. You see it all. You monitor it. I mean, you and I have had not a chance to catch up for quite some time. Kane, give us your take of the maximalist approach, the flood the zone that we are seeing from President Trump and his team.
Yeah, it's breathtaking, Charlie. I never expected it. You and I had these discussions. We knew it was going to be aggressive. We knew he was going to come hard and fast, but I don't think anyone had any idea what flood the zone would really mean. And I don't think, we anticipated the success of it and the idea, the philosophy behind giving them too many things to chase, too many ideas. And yet I didn't anticipate that it was going to work this well. The resistance, it hasn't really been able to get started. Yeah, we're starting to see some lawfare. Judges are stepping in the way. But for the most part, it's just been tears. It's just been a trail of tears, of Democrat tears and media tears. And it's this, it has to go back to the strategy. And I'm sure, since I'm working all the time, I don't get an opportunity to listen to all of your sort of opening monologues. But one of the things that's been sticking out to me these last 3 weeks is this is so much better than Trump 1.0. We don't want to say that it was a good thing that the nation suffered for 4 years under Biden. But I guarantee you that we wouldn't have anything like this had Trump, been able to assume office in 2021. He had 4 years to sit and think and ponder every department, every agency, and how to attack this. And the last thing I'll say is I throw back to you, we all love the Javier Milei and the chainsaw. And I remember sort of cautioning people in, leading up to it, to the inauguration, like, look, it's not going to be like that. We aren't going to be able to cut agencies like they did in Argentina. But I'll tell you, the Doge stuff and the Elon Musk stuff, it reminds me of Javier Milei. It reminds me of Argentina. It reminds me of winning.
And Kane, what do you make of the administration coming in with such preparedness, such precision, the executive orders, the pace, the rapidity? I agree. The time in exile, I think, was very good in a lot of different ways for us. I mean, Kane, that's where you and I got to know each other, where we were the furthest away from the presidency imaginable. When you and I started talking, when you started to come on this program, I mean, Kane, it was like Trump was like 12% in the betting odds to become president. Remember? I mean, he was indicted and there was lawfare, and you and I would talk late at night and say, man, I don't know about this. And I mean, he just crawled himself out of the impossible hole to a place where now he's the most popular person on the planet, most powerful person on the planet. I think one of the inflection points was East Palestine, Ohio, when he went there, and that was the beginning. He's like, I'm going to go to Forgotten America. Biden is forgetting them. Full court press. And it's only going to get deeper and better. So we have some amazing stories here on citizenfreepress.com. And it seems as if the American people, Kane, are largely supporting this.
Yeah, they are. And it's nice. You and I are poll junkies. We look at all of this stuff, even though we know to discount certain things. But it's been phenomenal. That CBS News poll that came out, incredible, great news. Margaret Brennan was not pleased. You're right about how, when I started coming on your show, it was DeSantis. It was all DeSantis. That was the talk. As you said, Trump's betting odds were low. They were below 15%. DeSantis looked like he was ascendant. And I'd sort of forgotten about East Palestine kicking that off. But that created so much sort of angst and unrest and anger at the Biden administration. And Trump came in and he sort of showed what a real president does. I mean, he replaced Biden. Biden never made it to East Palestine, at least, and not in those first 8 months. So, it obviously gave him time. But in terms of where we are now, 3 weeks later, if you had said to me a month ago, okay, Trump's going to go shock and awe, days of thunder, he's not going to stop, executive orders, day after day. I wouldn't have thought that his poll numbers would be this good. There's something I've got in the stack this morning. 42% of black men approve.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. And Trump's, it's the expansion of the populist base from white working class to black working class, Hispanic working class, and Asian working class. That's sort of, what we're looking at. We're thinking bigger. Where is this going to go in 2028? Can we maintain the hold on the House, Senate, and the presidency? And it's looking good for populist, for populism, for nationalist populism. Everything is sort of falling in order. The media is even being, though he's still being attacked, the media isn't being as aggressive as they used to be because they're seeing these approval ratings. And it's just sort of all coming together. 500 executive orders, I think we've had. 500 in 3 weeks. These are big numbers, and we didn't see it coming. And you and I, we started in the darkness of future indictments. I mean, that's when I started coming on.
Yes.
It was, how is Trump going to handle these indictments? So
we had you on. We had you on every week, sometimes multiple times a week, and everybody in this audience deserves incredible credit for how you had the resolve and you stayed focused. Let's talk about Bobby Kennedy, King. What do you think was the significance of Bobby Kennedy's role in this last election, and what does this mean for the Republican Party moving forward, him as Secretary of Health and Human Services? Boy, that feels good to say.
Yeah, it does. I think it's 5 points. It's 4 or 5 points, Charlie. He brought independents. We were looking at the independent numbers before Kennedy came aboard, and they were not that strong. They were more or less closely split between Trump and the Democrat, and Trump and Kamala. So I think it was, that may have made the difference in Pennsylvania. There's so many things. It's very difficult to pinpoint. Everyone worked. TPUSA worked. Scott Pressler worked. We had sort of massive grassroots. But in the bigger picture, the bigger above board picture, the Kennedy coming on to Team Trump, endorsing Trump, that's 4 points of independence. And we saw it in the numbers. We saw it immediately within the next week. So it was a beautiful decision. And I'll even admit, I was, when Kennedy first stuck his head in the ring, going back, long before he endorsed Trump, I was ready for Trump to take him as vice president. This is long before J.D. Vance. And that'll show people sort of how wide my berth can be. But
yep.
I knew how important. I know how many independent, sort of left-leaning independents, normally voting Democrat, these people loved Kennedy. And getting him on our team was huge. And getting him through the Senate was huge. And the last thing I'll say is, as I'll follow through, Charlie, there was less resistance to Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard. Why? Because of what happened with Pete Hegseth. And a lot of that is you and TPUSA. We sort of put our hair up on the back of our necks and we said, look, guys, if you're not going to go along with the MAGA agenda, this is what we're going to do to you. We don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be powerful, and we're going to primary you guys. And they got in line, Charlie. They got in line, and they did what the American people wanted.
So Kane, we also now have Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. We have this incredible team of superstars filling this administration, and the pace is only going to increase. I hope everyone understands. Get used to this tempo. People say, oh, it's not sustainable. No. This is the tempo without the cabinet. Imagine the tempo. By the way, can we just brag on how great Marco Rubio has been? I mean, can we just say how great Pete Hegseth has been? I mean, this is the big three. I hope you guys understand. I got 3 people that I just can't say enough good stuff about. Marco's been a 10, Pete Hegseth has been a 10, and J.D. Vance has been a 10. As we do this program right now, Donald Trump is calling shots. He's the offensive coordinator. He is the air traffic controller. We got Marco Rubio solving all the Nicaraguan, Guatemalan, Venezuelan, Colombian problems, which is immense because all the migration stuff starts there. He's speaking Spanish to them and speaking true to them. We got Pete Hegseth doing PT with our troops at 0500, where Lloyd Austin couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. And then on the other side, we got J.D. Vance. He was in Paris. He's going to Dachau, and now he's doing Munich tomorrow, giving one of the most important speeches for a sitting vice president in modern American history. I mean, Kane, minute and a half remaining. Have we ever seen a rock star roster of all-stars simultaneously fighting for the Republic? Meanwhile, you got Elon Musk going around with a metaphorical hammer breaking every piece of government waste he can get in contact with. Kane.
I know. It's a beautiful thing, man. You made all my points for me. With Rubio, it's the Spanish. That's what stuck out to me is he's going to these countries. He's speaking their language. Right. They're loving him. They're accepting him. And and Malai sort of paved the way, and Bukele. So that's beautiful. Hegseth, as you said, working out PT. Lloyd Austin would have been wearing 2 masks and a visor. You got JD Vance making history in Europe. Sort of the populism is following him. You've got Musk, as you said, with the hammer, and Russ Vogt. These guys are making, Charlie, you're young, but I know a lot of why you got into politics and started TPUSA is the debt. Right? The national debt is that overall issue that young people pay attention to. And so to watch this stuff happen, you've seen my headlines, Charlie. I've been waiting for this stuff for 25 years. The whole reason I'm interested in politics, the national debt. When I was working at CNN at age 21, that's where I got sort of scooped in on the national debt. And Charlie, it was $2 trillion. And I was freaking out about $2 trillion. It's $37 trillion now, as you know. So I've never seen anything like it. I agree the action will not stop. I'm the guy covering it 18 hours a day, and there's no break. There's no slowdown. I love it, Charlie. I love it.
Kane, excellent work. CitizenFreePress.com. That is CitizenFreePress.com. Excellent. Thank you so much.